Out of nowhere, Scorpio Sky has risen from the ashes and become the TNT Championship #1 contender, and his match is on Wednesday. So we're going to talk about his return and also Big Swole coming back to prominence as well in today's episode of WrstlXtra. Stay tuned.
Yo, it is your boy ADazzle and the guy Mex here on WrstlXtra. Yes, you are watching on the WrestleManiac UK YouTube channel. Yep. And of course, you're listening on AffinityExtra.com. People, what is good? What is going on? I think AEW has started a revolution.
Yeah, something's going on over there.
Something's
in the water.
Something is going on. Let's get straight into Revolution. It happened on Sunday, just a few days ago. We've seen a few changes, a few things. Actually, let's go back just one day to Dark. There was a special Saturday edition of AEW Dark. The 2-hour-long predictable show. And one thing that wasn't predictable was Big Swole came back and had a lot to say.
Yep.
She came back and kind of, was like, I feel undervalued. A slap in the face, as she was statistically the #1 contender for Hikaru Shida's AEW Women's Championship, and then boom, they threw in some random women's tournament, and Swole wasn't in it at all. We know that there's the kayfabe, and we also know that there's the, there's the shoot about this whole thing as well. But let's talk about what Swole said and how, because we've mentioned it on this. How, we were like, hold on, where's Swole? Yeah. And she also said that she wasn't injured on Twitter about 2 weeks ago, was it? Mm-hmm. Now she's back and she's determined to get a title opportunity, especially now that this match is now, the final match has now happened. Yeah. How are you seeing this? Because there's a whole lot of different little things going on as well, not just what Swole's saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because yeah, it's a bit weird. I mean, it's always great to see her back. We've been clamoring for her. We've been asking the questions as well that, yeah, she's not injured, physically injured. So where is she? She was very high up in the rankings. And she wasn't included in a tournament that was going to decide who was next in line. Not that she should have went through the tournament anyway, because she was next in line. But it's great to see her come back, cut this impassioned promo.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And it's like, you believe every word she's gonna say. She sold it with her body language as well. Mm-hmm. You could see that she was visibly peed off with what's going on. And, yeah, I think obviously what's come out, which I guess you're referring to in the last day or so, is the update with the Crohn's disease.
Right. Correct.
That she's been suffering from. So I'm not sure if that's something that has possibly, now, and this is where the lines of kayfabe and reality may get blurred. I don't know if this is something that has kept her from wrestling, because she's kind of been going through these problems. For anyone that doesn't know what Crohn's disease is, it's basically like a inflammatory kind of disease that you get in your intestines and stuff like that, causes you to possibly lose weight as one of the side effects and stuff. But yeah, I think it's has that stopped her from wrestling? So they've kind of now maybe she's better. They're using this to kind of play into storyline, because she may not have been physically injured, but if she's obviously ill, then she may not have been able to go as well. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's kind of in reality, it's possibly a little risky. In the sense where So I think I saw something that Tony Khan said as well, and he kind of either confirmed that it was something to do with her Crohn's disease. She hasn't been too well, and obviously she's then further confirmed that on Twitter, with the patches that she put out on there. Yesterday I think it was. So it's interesting to see that she's still dealing with the situation in terms of not necessarily, being able to take the medication she's used to taking in order to just carry on with life, kind of thing. So she's in a more vulnerable place than she has been for years, basically. So I think it's a little risky. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the ins and outs of the Crohn's disease, how she's dealing with it, all that kind of stuff. But just based on the information that we have been shown, I guess, it's a little risky that she's been brought back in such a way, in the sense where she's kind of like, all right, I'm coming for the title, type of thing. It would still make sense if she said the same things, but then not necessarily made it known that she's coming for whoever wins the match. If she came back and said, okay, I feel undervalued, I feel this, then acknowledge the reset of the ranking, and then said, I'm gonna work my way back up, then it would be like, okay, well, if she's then still continues to have to deal with the problems outside of wrestling, then okay, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. We can kind of, deal with it, storyline wise and blah blah blah. Whereas this is kind of a bit more right. Boom, we're throwing her in the title picture, more or less in the title picture, and it's still kind of like, but will it work? Will she be able to deal with it? Blah blah. So it's a difficult one. Then on the other hand as well, even just on the wrestling side of things, storyline wise, you've got Britt Baker and Nyla Rose, who also have attacked Hikaru Shida as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so who is it?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, it's not a bad position to be in. Like, Big Swole's laid her claim and why she should be there. Obviously, Britt Baker, like you said, laid an attack. Nyla Rose, before Ryu Mizunami, at least she got to the final of the women's tournament, so I guess she's got a claim. So even if you went ahead and stuck those three in a triple threat match to see who's the number one contender, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Shida has got the AEW record for longest champion, full stop, right now. So, she's going down in history at the minute anyway. So, and unfortunately, her run has been a bit underwhelming. So any one of these women could do with giving this belt a bit of life, just something different. Obviously, the likes of, to be honest, all three of them, I would say, are probably more heavy on the character than the in-ring technical side of things.
Very, very
so that could just even bring a dynamic that the belt hasn't seen right now. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do from here. But great to see Big Swole, us talking about it in a positive light and not where is Big Swole sort of thing. Lincoln, big up Lincoln in the chat. He said here, Crohn's disease left her bedridden at times. Glad to see her back though. I hope she's well. Yeah, that's the same sentiment from.
I mean, just to know that she's on her feet, moving, and even just in a position where they feel they can put her on TV is amazing. Yeah, is amazing. Especially given in that passage that she wrote, she said that she can't take the medication. It's been over a year. There's so many different little things that if they went wrong, it's the worst almost. You know what I mean? Without being too morbid about it, but so it's amazing to see her up and on TV. It's very interesting that it was the week after we mentioned something, but let's not even go there. Scorpio Sky is very similar, but let's not even go there. But yeah, I mean, going back to the whole dynamics of who's number one contender and stuff, you've had the whole thing of Swole and Britt Baker had their thing as well. That was very interesting. That was very good. And then kind of Swole came out on top, but nothing really happened. Yeah, with it, obviously, we kind of now know why, but nothing happened with that. So that's something that can be revisited. Nyla Rose beat Britt Baker as well in that tournament. Britt Baker, we were saying from the start, Britt Baker should have won it.
Yep.
And maybe that was the obvious thing to do. So maybe that's why they didn't do it. I don't know. But then, I just don't get why the tournament happened, because the winner. Yeah. Not that she's a bad wrestler in any way, shape, or form, but it's kind of like, what are you doing afterwards? Yeah, like, you've done that for what?
That's the problem. Like, her and Mizunami on the pay-per-view, as far as I'm concerned, that was the best wrestling match, as in no gimmicks, no tags, no anything like that. The best pure wrestling match we got on the night.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't change the fact that Shida's been giving us these good matches, but nothing else has really come from. We don't even really know who Shida is, you know. So we haven't really got anything else from this long reign that she's had.
And that's and that's part of the problem. I like the fact that, you know, Thunder Rose is kind of, you know,
shaking it up
thing as well. So hopefully it will get interest in terms of story, character, and all that type of thing. Hopefully it will get interesting. As you said, we're always going to get a good match from Shida, but, you know, is that enough? Is that enough in this day and age, or in this section, I guess, of wrestling? If it was in Japan, you get away with it. Yeah, it's a very different thing. But in the US world of wrestling, it kind of just needs more. But good to see Swole, as we said already. The other thing that we saw then, so that was Saturday on Dark. On Sunday was Revolution, the big pay-per-view, and we had a 6-man ladder match for the Chaos Emerald ring. I mean, sorry, the face of the Revolution. Scorpio Sky came out as the victor. I was completely surprised by that outcome, as much as I'm the biggest fan of Scorpio Sky that you'll probably know. I was not expecting that, and kind of doesn't make sense either. Or it's in the sense it's come out of nowhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not in the sense where Scorpio Sky was not capable, of course. You know, we know how good he is. But again, I'm, you know, worried about this, the story, it making sense, it, you know, being able to be followed up. The match was great. The match was good, as a ladder match would be, as you would expect a ladder match to be. Give me your take.
Yeah, like, as a fan, you know, this we live for the out of nowhere and the unpredictable and all of this kind of stuff. This is what we probably one of the things we love about the sport. However, you know, he obviously appeared on Dynamite for the first time in a very long time. During the week, came with this kind of new cocky persona and stuff like that. I was like, okay. Scorpio. So yeah, you know, he came out and then it's like, okay, cool. I guess they're warming him up, kind of introducing him to the crowd and stuff like that. He enters this ladder match, puts on a really good performance as well. I mean, that has to be said, but we know he's a great athlete, so it's not surprising. And despite, you know, the self-indulgence of Cody throughout that entire match, to basically say that I'm the face of the Revolution and whoever's going to win this has to beat me, the final boss, I have to go at Cody, because people say that, you know, Triple H is bad when it comes to self-indulgence, as if Cody isn't doing the same thing. But I guess maybe because Cody does it with a smile and blonde hair, he gets away with it. I don't know. Anyway... when Scorpio Sky won, I was like, yeah, cool. This is what we've been waiting for. And then it's like, does he deserve it? Probably not. Then deserve may or may not be the correct word, but you know, I just feel like, where do you go from here? As far as I'm concerned, he has to win on Wednesday,
bro. But how?
Exactly. So have AEW booked themselves into a corner, because you have reintroduced him the week before or during the week of Revolution. He's got a big win on Revolution, and you've given him a championship match on Wednesday. Now, I'm expecting Team Taz maybe to come and pull some shenanigans. Sting gets involved. We end up with a 6-man tag or some nonsense like that, which is very, very WWE. But I just think that, you know, you can't do this. And let it just be said as well. AEW have had these kind of, I don't want to call them gimmick matches, but this ladder match with the brass ring, they've had the other ladder match that Brian Cage debuted in and won. They've had, you know, all of these casino battle royals. The person that wins all of this stuff, they never win the actual championship.
Never.
I mean, yes, they're only 2 years in or whatever, but okay, they haven't won it thus far. So, yeah, he has to win. I don't know if he will, and then you have to question where are they going with this. But hey.
Yeah, brass ring, big casino chip. I'm just very excited, sarcastically, to see what the next prop is that someone has to climb a ladder for, bro. Because I'm like, what are we doing here? It's circular. I just know that much. That's it.
They don't even do that stuff properly. Look at the trophy Mizunami won. That is an underwhelming trophy. Look at the medals that Diamante and Ivelisse won. Those are underwhelming gifts. Like, I know that they can't give out a belt for everything, but like, come on, bro.
But yeah, that's the thing. But the question is, where is it going? Where does it go? And the thing is, for me, the only way Scorpio Sky wins this is with interference from Team Taz or something like that, or they overly play the fact that Darby Allin is still hurt from the street fight.
Yes, yeah.
Those are the only two ways. And for me, yes, it would be great to see Scorpio Sky with a bout, but at the same time, it will still feel like they just threw it on him, maybe for him to just lose it to someone else very soon. Lance Archer, maybe even Ricky Starks, or someone who is kind of, you know, heelish, in some way. And that's my fear with this whole thing. The other fear is then he just doesn't win. Like, and then that would just be the repeat of what happened last time he had a match.
Literally. Bro, unless he doesn't win and then heals up more, like goes crazy. Because right now with this cocky stuff, like it's fine. But that, to be honest, that's what should have happened the first time. I was okay with him losing to Cody, but then we need to see a shift in his attitude.
And then see it again.
Yeah, then see where it goes. Shantice makes a really interesting point here about we made a diversity fuss, so they threw him a bone. And this happened, obviously, especially after Bobby Lashley picked up the WWE Championship. People acknowledge that, okay, yeah, there are black people in AEW. There is a sense of diversity of, you know, cultures and traditions and sexualities and stuff being on display, but you know, when it comes to these people and ethnics, especially at the winning the top prizes, it's not really happening. It hasn't happened yet. And all of a sudden, we literally get Scorpio back on TV. We get Swole back on YouTube, you know, a couple of days later. And now, you know, we're here talking about it, and it's like, you know, are we the ones that have a jackass hat on our heads sitting in the corner of the classroom? Like, you see what I mean? Like, have we almost, we're clapping now because they've done what we wanted them to do, but are they now going to follow through? You see what I mean? So
and here's the thing. I remember this type of thing happening about maybe 3 or so years ago with WWE. Whether it be a race issue or just a, you know, questioning their booking. You know, say for example, I don't know if it wasn't this specifically, but say for example, we're making up fuss about Daniel Bryan not getting a chance, and then all of a sudden he gets a chance, but it's in a way that we're kind of like, yeah, but you know what I mean?
Shouldn't have had to make noise to get to this point. Right,
exactly that. So for them to throw it like that, if there was a build to it, then cool. It would make a little bit more sense for him to just win out of nowhere. It happens, but it's kind of like, okay, what's next? And I'm not confident, basically, about how and what's gonna happen on Wednesday, if I'm honest. But at the same time, I'm just happy to see Scorpio Sky back on my TV, and I just hope it just means something. Again, even if it is a thing where he doesn't win, but then it carries on a storyline with him, you know, for a while, and then he wins it. I'll be okay with that, I think.
Yeah.
I'll be upset if he doesn't win. You lot will probably see me on Twitter for a if he doesn't win. And I'll be ranting like a madman. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And shout out to Max Caster as well, who put in a great performance as well on that night. I think it was nice that he won the qualifying match a few days before, and then he put in a good performance on the night as well. And he's another one who's I think, you know what, if I'm very honest, I think in time, and not a very long time, you could put him in the same place as Ricky Starks in terms of the level of potential that they have based on their character, based on what they can do in the ring, and all that kind of thing. I think Max Caster's got it, but hopefully we'll see that in a bigger way.
Him and Bowens, I see him and Bowens, and I'm thinking, what are these two individual guys doing together? I'm buying into what they claimed. I'm buying into what they're doing, but I can't. They're not a tag team for me. Like these guys are just very good, like you say, high potential. Two singles guys. Have literally been copy and pasted, slapped together. Like I'm not buying them as a tag team for 1 second.
Right. I mean, I've seen them do great things in the ring together. And they've got a few nice. They've got like about 6 nice finishing maneuver, double team.
Yeah, they're good.
They are very good. But yeah, together I'm still kind of not getting it, because especially when they do their little music videos as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to say no more, because I don't want to say bad things about them at all. I think they're very good at what they do separately. But yeah, it's kind of still not necessarily merging character-wise, as you know, as a duo, basically. Let's keep ourselves on the AEW train and go back even further to last week. Of course, it was the day after our last show, so we have to go all the way back like 6 days and talk about that match that blew up Dynamite in the first minute. Shaq and Jade versus Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet was I'm gonna just say it from now.
Go on.
I have to eat my words, bro.
Yeah.
I have to eat my words. Shaq killed it. And you know what? I'm gonna say this as well. Jade Cargill came for me in my comments, bro.
What did she say?
Came for me, bro. She came for me. She was basically, you know, like I think I must have posted something earlier in the day, and then she's messaged me and said, "Oh, so where's the you know, post about my match with Shaq?" I'm like, "Don't worry, I'm working on it right now. I'm posted it up, and you know, all good stuff and blah blah blah." And then she's come at me with, let me find it and read it, because I was like, sorry. So she has said, I need you to talk about how great Shaq did, since you guys, I won't use the word, on him. He was great. Shaq was great. Shaq was great.
He was.
And I responded with, you know, you're right. Glad you listened to the show. And yeah, Shaq made me eat my words and have seconds. He was way better than I expected. And then she just basically said, you know, he's a proud black man who supports us black people. Please watch what you say about people. He's one that is for us. I was like, I just you know, just sunk
back
and was like, okay.
No, I mean, yeah, I think we all have to hold our hands up, because even if we didn't say, I think the thing is, a lot of people didn't say like necessarily derogatory things about Shaq. It was just like, do we want to see Shaq have a match?
Right.
And the answer was unanimously no. And like I say, I hold my hands up too. Like, he was very good. From the minute he stepped out of that tunnel, he was in character. Their pose looked bad. He got into the ring first with Cody. didn't sell nothing for Cody. Got him in the corner, gave him those chops. When he was like, chaps. I thought that was hilarious. Obviously, as the match went on, like, and you know, Jade is a tall girl, and he towered over her. And I was like, rah, nah, this is obviously I know he's a basketball player, but I said this man is huge. This man is huge. And of course, the spot at the end that he took from Cody's dive through the 2 tables, sold it like a champ. To talk about Jade and Red Velvet, I've said since obviously watched that match, for me, it was very good to see Jade have that first match, get that out of the way. There's probably been a lot of pressure on that. The character stuff down to a T, like she knows who she is and what she's come to do here. Like that's no doubt about it. In ring, there was like some really good spots that we saw, like a spine buster, like an Arn Anderson type spine buster. I can't remember the move. I think it's Beth Phoenix does it as a finisher or something.
Like a face plant.
Yeah. That she done. Yeah. And very crisp in those kind of individual moves. Obviously, as experience comes, everything else in the in between will get sold together. I was super impressed with Red Velvet. I felt like Red Velvet was the one person that didn't want to go unnoticed, because obviously it was Jade's big debut. Shaq is the celebrity. Cody is Cody. Red Velvet really stood up and made sure that she wasn't forgotten in this match. Massive moonsault to the outside. Obviously, her back and forth. She sold for Jade really well. Massive spear to Jade, I remember, towards the end of the match as well. The match was good. Honestly, it set the tone for the night. And I didn't expect it. Thank you, Faith Thompson. Glam Slam.
Yes, Glam Slam.
One. Yeah. The match was better than I ever expected, and I take back everything I said in terms of not wanting to see that match.
I don't take back anything. I'm just glad I was proven wrong.
100.
So I don't take back anything, and I say that because, you know, in the build up to the whole thing, let's be very real. AEW never gave us anything to make us want to see Shaq.
That's true.
Everything else was fine. Everything else was fine. As we've said every single week, the ladies were on point with everything that they were doing. I would have happy see just those two go at it, with the other two just on the outside and interfere in some way and, you know, have an interaction. But AEW were, you know, did not give us anything really to make us want to see Shaq. But at the same time, and I've said this before, and I'm big on this. I love it when people prove me wrong. So I'll always have a space for people to do that, regardless of what I'm saying, regardless of how much I'm not excited, all the rest of it. I will still be very, open to, you know, to be proven wrong, and he did exactly that. Someone commented, was it? I think it was on the Kick Out podcast that you guys had last week. The guest that you had, what's his name again?
Royalty.
Yes, he said something about Shaq's trainers. That was questionable. Yeah. And he's a tire in general, but at the same time, that was the smallest thing, in terms of the whole match. And again, you know, going to Red Velvet, the second she walked out, you know, she had new attire, all the rest of it. She was ready. And I knew, and as much as you say, everyone's waiting to see what Jade does. You know, Shaq's the big star. Cody is Cody. You know, Cody's Cody. For me, I was always expecting Red Velvet to be the one to stand out. Always just waiting for that to happen, and I'm glad it did in the way that it did. And everyone just looked great. As you said, for Jade. For me, with Jade, known her for a while, we've spoken about different things, and I've seen kind of, you know, when she started to where she is now. So I was just glad that she was able to show everyone what she can do.
Yeah.
Just really glad that actually happened, and she did it in the best way she possibly could have, I believe. And as you said, those little things that, you know, you could probably pick out, it's just an experience thing, nothing more than that. And it's gonna, you know, it's gonna all fit together as she gets a few more matches and stuff like that, and she's gonna be major. I think she's gonna be, her and Red Velvet are gonna be major. You know
the thing about Jade, which she's got in her pocket now for the rest of her life.
Right.
They can make her world champion tomorrow or women's champion tomorrow. They can make her women's champion at any point, and we will all believe it.
Yeah. I very much agree. Very
yeah,
much.
and it's more than just, we can see through that match, it's more than just the stature and the physical appearance. It's the way she carries herself as well. She could literally win that match, win a women's championship match tomorrow, and no one will question it. And she'll carry that belt and make it a lot more interesting than it has been in recent times, just in terms of feuds, promos, and what can be brought to it. So yeah, that's something not many people have.
Not at all, bro. You know what's crazy about it as well, as I've mentioned, you know, I've followed her from the start, and I remember a conversation that we had ages ago when she was really kind of starting out, and there was an opportunity that came about, so she had to start thinking about like her name and what her name's going to be, and we were talking about, you know, trying to find ideas and blah blah blah, and it didn't really come to anything. But it's amazing how in that time she was so nervous about everything that she was about to do. Just kind of like not knowing what to do next, and you know, asking for advice, and you know, not sure. Whereas now it's kind of like, I'm sure she's, you know, there's still questions she needs to be asking, but she's seen her confidence has skyrocketed. And for me, that is the best part of seeing her how she is now. You know, compared to just 2 years ago. You know, it's crazy.
Shantice isn't convinced that she should become champion until she's grabbed the big ring first. So Jade, if you're listening, get climbing.
Everybody's got to grab that ring, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to grab that ring before they move on to anything at all. Let us move ourselves over to Vince McMahon's house, WWE, and let us talk for a second week about our good friend Apollo Crews coming to WWE on Amazon Prime. His second promo with this new attitude, as you know, holding on strong to his Nigerian roots, but it took, you know, it went a step further, or went to another level. I'll put it that way. It went to another level where he's continued this African accent with an explanation. I personally don't care, but with an explanation, and also two African soldiers and a spear that looked straight from, like it was from the Kellogg's box. But a spear he came down with as well. Bro, you tell me, I know both of us, we love the attitude change. We love the fact that his character is now, you know, he's going somewhere. But I personally believe it's gone just a step over the line with what he did last week.
Listen, ADazzle, I'm not happy about this one. I will tell you, I'm not happy about this one. This is not what I signed up for. I'll tell you.
Bruv.
I don't know.
And here's the thing. So I know, and you mentioned it last week, that you yourself are Nigerian as well. Bro, even I know, as a Jamaican, even I know that that accent isn't it. It isn't it. And that's the worst part of it.
It's not his fault, because he's from America. He's from the US.
Exactly.
So firstly, like, even me, if I do that accent now in front of my parents, that's not our accent. That's the first thing they're gonna say to me, because I'm doing it with my British twang of a voice.
Right.
Let's get this straight. And guys, I'm not being offensive. I'm Nigerian, so it runs. Look, yeah. It's just like you said, it's a step too far. And I actually remember back in this last week, you actually said they're gonna make him do a full-on accent 24/7. I said, nah, I think it's just for the granddad, you know, angle that they were trying to get across. And they went and, you know, this is the knob, and they turned it all the way up for no reason at all. Where he was last week was perfect, acknowledging his roots. And you know, yeah, he done the thing in the accent, but that was to convey the message of what his grandfather would have said. That's where it needed to be. He came out with the two NXT Performance Center dons, one that's literally just been signed like a month ago, and then what's his other name? Dejanay.
Now Desmond Troy.
Desmond Troy, he's changed it, yeah. So, you know, the guy that just got signed, I'm thinking, poor guy, like, look what he signed up for already. And he comes out with the spear, with the militia, the military guys. And I'm just thinking, I was very annoyed. And again, this was one of these moments where somehow God always chooses to leave my missus in the room with me when something stupid on WWE comes on TV. And then she's looking at me like, is this what you're watching? So we're watching this now. And obviously my missus isn't from Nigeria, but she knows that's a bad Nigerian accent. And I was fuming. The whole of Saturday, I was fuming. I made a post and I thought better against it to not post it. And I'm happy I did, because I did extra research and I actually found out that his tribe, because he actually is Nigerian, the tribe he's from, they actually give spears to men, like I think so, some type of celebration in their life. I'm not quite, I can't quite remember if it's a birthday or something like that. But it's actually a thing which I'm guessing they're playing into. The spear did look cartoonish. I'm not too sure if him as a superstar should have been even carrying the spear. He had military men behind him. Maybe they should have had the spear. I don't know. But it's just all a step too far. And I can't help but think this could all potentially fall apart when Big E comes back. Because Big E, as much as he's turned a serious kind of corner, he loves a joke and a laugh. And if Big E stands there in the ring and says, "Where did you get this accent from?" This whole thing falls apart. That's it. That's the end of it. I remember when Triple H drawed out Kofi Kingston. What, you Jamaican? The whole thing falls apart. That's it. And then you've got Apollo Crews climbing an uphill battle of legitimacy and trying to come across as this real African American, which yes, he is, but now he's carrying a fake accent, which he says he needed to hide. But he was never in Nigeria to gain the accent in the first place. So at the end of the day, he's trying his hardest. He still looks very good in everything he's doing. The promo was very good. I'm looking forward to seeing him and Big E go at it once Big E is back. But Big E or potentially any other superstar, the internet fans, anyone can rip this apart by just mocking this accent. So
of course, and that's where the problem is. It's not believable. And it's not so much the whole stereotypical thing. It's not just that. It's just not believable. And at the same time as well, as we said last week, when he first, came out with the Nigerian colors and, talking about he's now connected with his roots, it was fine. It was okay. It was on the cusp of, where it should be.
Yeah.
And just run with it. Just keep running with it. Still be the same Apollo that we know, but just have more of an attitude. And I remember, so in the week, our friend Sir Wilkins posted his opinion about it and saying how everyone's kind of, coming at Apollo too much and, calm down, blah, blah, blah. And he made a few points and he was, he mentioned Drew McIntyre coming down with a sword or coming, his entrance, using a sword and obviously with his kilt and with his Scottish roots. Jinder Mahal being, of Indian heritage, but Canadian, but yet you never knew that he was Canadian, kind of never, But here's the thing with, and this was my response as well to that post, like with Drew McIntyre, it's a thing where it was just left at the entrance. So you didn't then come to the ring with the sword and then use it as a prop or whatever else and blah, blah, blah. And even for me, even that itself was kind of like too far anyway.
Yeah. Personally, for me, that was like,
why would he have a sword? Like, okay, the kilt is great, fine. Attire is different.
It's different.
When you start using props, it's kind of like, let's be very real about how and why we use it.
When Sheamus showed him, I found this because I think it was I found it from your Ancestry or something like that.
Yeah.
How Sheamus found all his ancestor stuff in the back of the stadium anyway. But anyway, he found him and gave it to him. I think that's where it should have stayed. Maybe if anything, Drew does a little WWE.com interview where he opens the box and shows us all the Ancestry stuff.
Right.
And it ends there. I don't think he should have ever brought this sword down.
Yeah. Exactly that. And the other thing as well is, on the cusp of the whole racism element, or the possible part of, saying that what Apollo's doing or the writers are maybe racist or, just inconsiderate or whatever it is. With Drew, we know also that Vince McMahon is white. and has Scottish heritage.
Scottish heritage, yeah.
So it's whatever he then decides to do is not going to be deemed as racist, because if I made a decision to have, if I owned a promotion and had a Jamaican guy and pushed his Jamaican heritage, I wouldn't be deemed as racist because it's also my heritage.
Yeah,
it's also what I know. So you can't then use that either. And when with Jinder Mahal, again, it was also very much kind of stereotypical in so many ways, so many ways. That was questionable as well. So it's you can't try. I think it's very difficult to try and find a way to really defend it, if I'm very honest. And then the other thing as well is you've also got a very good example of someone who has, acknowledged their heritage and been very open about acknowledging their heritage, but has not one part of it being stereotypical at all. Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Tribal chief. All of this had his uncles come out. We once put on the ring of like the flowers.
That's his storyline.
Exactly, and it happened once.
Yeah, they're crowning him the tribal chief. That is
He's not changed his accent. He's not changed his accent. He still talks the same way. I think his tone slightly changed, but that's a tone. He doesn't dress different. He just has no top on now, just to show off his tattoos that are naturally his tattoos. That's not something that's kind of come because of a storyline or because of a decision of character. That is who he is as well. So and the thing is as well, like obviously we know that wrestling is about characters and all the rest of it, but this is not the 80s or the 90s anymore. We know that there's this thin, very, very thin line between reality and storyline now. So when the character is so far away from what we already know as well, you kind of like you're making it a joke.
Yeah,
you're making it a joke, or it's very obvious that you don't know what you're doing or don't know what you're talking about. And the craziest thing about that is as well, a part of me, and I don't want to sound bad, a part of me feels as if almost Apollo doesn't necessarily know enough. I don't know. I could be completely wrong in that.
What do you mean by know enough?
So again, as we said, his accent's not the greatest. You know what I mean? So yeah, we might know of his heritage and stuff, but I feel as though his connection to that is a little bit too far in order for it to feel natural when he, does it basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As you said, he's an American. And yes, he came to America when he was at a young age, so he still lived in Nigeria for a while and all that kind of stuff, but it's so far off. It's just sad. It's just sad.
It's overdoing it, bro. I think Shantice has mentioned it. David here has mentioned it. They always overdo it when it comes to patriotism. You had it in the perfect space.
Right.
Like I love the fact he used the accent to explain what his grandfather would have said. Like now it's like the whole accent thing, and that's probably what it is more than anything. He's like, you've made a rod for his back. He had to do talking smack with the accent. If he does any other interviews afterwards, just outside in the media of wrestling world, does he have to use the accent now? Like,
that was always the fear for me.
Where do we draw the line with all of this? Like, for me, even the military thing, it's too much. But if that was a WrestleMania entrance, like I remember some years back where Drew came out with loads of guys with bagpipes and the kilts on. It's just a WrestleMania entrance to show that this guy is from, big ancestry that are, that he needs like guards and that. Cool. That is calm.
No problem. I'd be gassed about it, bro. I'd be praising it big time.
You've just brought that out on SmackDown with a spear. Like, bruv, like, come on, man. It's not the time. And, it's just too much. It's just too much.
What, bro? Simple as that. And there's kind of no. I'm not expecting them to pull back on it at all, either.
They're probably not even finished. They're probably not even finished.
On the same post, I joked as well because someone kind of challenged what I was saying, and I said, okay, so, what is next? Is he gonna be standing over a lion carcass and saying this is what you're gonna do to Biggie? Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like, where was it gonna end? Really? because we know how far WWE have taken the things before, and not that far. You know, it wasn't that far back in the past either. You know what I mean? So I'm just worried because as well, like Apollo's not in that same place as say a Roman Reigns. Like if the writers or creative came to Roman Reigns and said, "Oh, we want you to do this, and dress like Umaga did back in the day," and blah blah blah, Roman Reigns be like, "Nah, not happening," and they'll be like, "All right, sorry, mate, we'll leave it there."
Yeah.
Where if they do it with Apollo and Apollo says something, they'll be like, "Well, you know, it's either this or you don't have a Intercontinental Championship match at all."
Yeah, you don't have a spot.
Okay. You know what I mean?
And this is you know, like I said, I deleted my post and I was just in a very mad place on Saturday. That's why I didn't post. I don't think I went on Instagram at all over the weekend because I was just so vexed. But yeah, this is, I mean, my part of my post, I was ranting about maybe the lack of representation in the creative room because, you know, any black person that was there, that would have been there, would know, firstly, this maybe isn't the best representation of a Nigerian or an African, you know, especially the spear thing is a bit, you know, I saw the dark parts of Twitter going on about, oh yeah, he's hunting for his food and stuff with his spear. Just lame banter. But at the same time, WWE, you fueled the idiots to write something like that because the decision you made wasn't necessarily a great one. And I just feel like, you know, in some of these situations, if you had a black person in there, or if this was Jinder Mahal, they had an Indian person in there, or Scottish person, whatever, you could actually firsthand hone into this person and say, does this happen in this culture? Because you could write things accurately as to how they should be, because someone that has the experience is there. And you know, even with Kofi all the way back then, it's just like there were some things that, yeah, he was acting the Jamaican, but you could see this is an African man. And you know, you get a Jamaican in there and they could tell you how he should be behaving from a character point of view. And this is what missing. That diversity is missing higher up. We complain about not seeing it on our TV. We finally get it on our TV, and then the people that are directing those people are still, you know, maybe white, English, British, American. So we need the representation at every level so that things filter through to make the product better ultimately.
And you know, and you know, the worst part of the whole thing is we have Bobby Lashley as the WWE champion, where they're praising what MVP has done, what the Hurt Business are about. They're just 4 black men who are very good wrestlers and are just all about winning and making money. Nothing about, you know, yes, they're unapologetically black, but it's not in your face in any way, shape, or form. And then we've got Big E and the New Day, who kind of tried to do a very similar thing. Yeah, they might be a little corny and a bit wacky with it and whatnot, but that's them. We know that it's them. We see, you know, we see Xavier Woods in outside of the wrestling world doing that same sort of thing. It is him.
It's him, yeah.
So then when we get this one guy who goes back
the person that probably needs it the most, and he's the one that is now playing this 80s stroke 90s wrestling character. It's just like, lads, you know, you let us down. We were singing your praises a week and 2 weeks ago, and now you've just... I'm backing Apollo Crews to really make this gimmick his own. He looks like at the very least he's very invested into it. So unfortunately, they may feed him a load of nonsense to get it over or whatever the case is. But I'm backing him. You know, I've seen enough of him in the last couple of weeks to know that he's got it in him to really make something of this. So let's just hope whatever nonsense they give him, they feed him, he can turn it into gold.
I'm hoping that part of it, the whole accent, the characterization of it is just, you know, becomes a small part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when he's doing his thing in the ring, when he, you know, cuts the promos and says the stuff that he needs to say and interacts with the wrestlers how he needs to, then cool, we're good. I just hope it doesn't take over the whole thing, basically. I'm not overly confident about that, but I'm hoping that's what happens, basically. Whoa, so we have only a few minutes left and we've got to move on very quickly, very swiftly to our stars of the week. I believe there's nothing else. No, there's nothing else. There is a few things. Actually, you know what? Let me just mention real quick. Actually, I'm choosing my star of the week. Nah. Reginald, bro, he's my hero. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying nothing more. I love that guy. I love everything that's going on with him right now. It's all a bit crazy. He got slapped by and sacked by Carmella. He got cussed out by Bianca Belair and then slapped by Sasha Banks. But then, he's got Nia Jax saying he's cute. And then he comes out with Nia Jax on Raw yesterday.
Raw. Yep.
I mean, I know how
liked. He's got a friend up there somewhere. Like, this guy is liked. He's splitting opinion though. A lot of people say that, he's ruining the women's division. It's kind of James Ellsworthy-esque, although of course the performance is better, but he's a bit too involved, which I understand. But he's doing a good job.
Yeah. He's there and he's in and around it. You know what I mean? And if they do it correctly, it will be fine. I think it's kind of a little. There's still chance for it to go down in the way that we kind of expected it to go down with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, because he's involved with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and they've got a tag team match at Fastlane with Banks and Belair. There is still chance for him to be the catalyst to, I guess, really tear apart or some kind of crack between Banks and Belair that we need to happen in order for this whole thing to be as big as it should be. But I guess Reginald is kind of like my honorable mention when it comes to stars of the week, bro, because I just love what he's doing. And obviously, if you follow my page, you'll see that almost every week he's on my wrestling drip post as well, because he dresses so fly, bro. It's ridiculous. And if you haven't seen as well, on TikTok, you've got Ricochet, Reginald and as a little trio as the boys. And there was this one thing that they posted last week with Reginald like doing this crazy somersault twisting thing or whatever else into the swimming pool with his full suit on. Crazy, bro. He's nuts, man. But yeah, man, shout out Reginald. On that note, let's move to our stars of the week. My one's very obvious, so I'm gonna go there straight away. It's Jade Cargill, straight away. I've said all the great things I could say about her already, just on how brilliant she is, how much she's grown in the time that I've seen her start wrestling, just training, let alone on AEW where everyone else saw her. So for me, Jade Cargill by far. And I guess it's kind of a way for me to kind of get back in her good books as well.
Jade, don't beat him up.
For sure.
Cool. Now, well deserved. I mean, the build up to this match, like we said, it wasn't maybe the best, but I feel like the people that sold it and really made us, okay, we're going to get this match, was Red Velvet and Jade Cargill. Sure. And so they done a great job. And then once they got in the ring, they actually wrestled the majority of the match despite
which was very
which was really good and very, very impressive. Like, it was a very good debut on a really good show. Won't go forgotten. And now I really hope starting on Wednesday they literally start building her into the person she's meant to be. Like, let's not waste any time here. Literally Wednesday. Let's get it cracking. So that's a really good choice.
For yourself, who are you saying?
So I'll give an honorable mention to Red Velvet, because like I said, I thought she was brilliant in that match. I want to congratulate Sean Dean, the captain. He's finally put pen to paper on that AEW contract. Sean Dean, the captain, is all elite.
He's not just turning up to work now. You know what I mean?
I'll lay off him. All right.
He's not turning up to work now. Come on.
Yeah. Let's get it cracking over there. He's been working for a year now with AEW. So very well deserved. And the tag team he's kind of got that they're working on now, it looks like a good way to kind of break them in. So that's going to be very interesting, and hopefully we get more airtime with him with, you know, they got a second TNT show coming, they got a second Dark show coming. So yeah, let's hope that's a way to see a bit more of him. But my star of the week, I can't procrastinate any longer. It's Bobby Lashley, man. It's probably like that smile when Raw started. Him and the Hurt Business opened the show, and that smile on Monday night was unbelievable. It was just like the promo he gave is the best promo I've seen him give in his entire life. Like 16 years, I've grinded, I've got this thing. There's no man alive that's gonna take this from me. And the icing on the cake for me, where I knew he's gonna be my star of the week, was them calling him the almighty WWE champion.
Right.
They have merged his position as champion and his moniker as the almighty to create some, like, I don't know, some superpower, like some godlike creature. Like,
and then the new entrance as well.
The new entrance as well.
Like Zeus, you know what I mean? Like,
I said I'm sold. Like, give me some new merch. I need to splash some more money on the almighty, man. Like, honestly, like the almighty WWE champion.
For real.
Yeah, man. It's proper. It's all proper. So we've held off on it for about 4 weeks. You have to give the man the flowers now. Like, it's too good. He's got rid of Miz now in terms of chasing him down. So it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes in terms of Fastlane, in terms of Mania. But yeah, man. That's the star.
Quick question then. So with them throwing everything at Bobby right now, because, you know, even posts on Instagram and little vignettes and all this kind of stuff. You know, we even had a little thing with Booker T, Ron Simmons, and Mark Henry congratulating him.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking where's Kofi, whatever. You know, all this kind of stuff, and building him up and talking about what he used to do and talking about what he does now and all that kind of stuff. Are they building him just for him to lose to Brock?
At where? Mania?
Mania, yeah. Or are they building him for him then to beat Brock?
Yeah, they have to. They have to continue building him. Not, I don't even believe they need to continue building him, but continue building him because, yeah, a lot of people, you know, Brock will bring a lot of eyes to the product, and a lot of people be like, "Who's this guy facing Brock?" So yeah, we still need to be sold, or some still need to be sold. The way I see it right now, you know, I think I said this last week, but Drew McIntyre is unfortunately the victim of timing. You know, this season, if you can move correct in this season leading up to Mania, your plans may work for you, your plans may not work for you. And unfortunately, Drew McIntyre's got a good thing with Sheamus, to be honest. And I would like to see that at Mania, like, but yeah, Bobby Lashley, whether it's Lesnar, whether it's McIntyre, he has to walk in as champion, he has to walk out as champion. For Mania, sure. This is not the Mania where the WWE Championship changes hands. And you know, obviously, what's happening on the other show with Roman and Edge, maybe the Universal Championship doesn't change hands either. Like, they like to swap these at Mania, but Bobby Lashley cannot be the victim of this year. I'm sorry.
And I don't even think the SmackDown Women's Championship is going to change hands either.
That's a conversation for another day. I mean, I'm slightly with you. To be honest.
Yeah.
But I think maybe getting closer to the time, you know, it'll be more telling. We could maybe see it a bit more. But
Very true.
The way Bobby Lashley's looking right now, the way Roman's looking right now, these guys can't be dropping the title at Mania. Like, it doesn't make sense, really.
I wouldn't mind the Hurt Business losing their tag team championships, but I think
if that happens,
he loses his WWE championship before SummerSlam, it would just that would be a problem, bro. It would be a problem, big problem. Unless he loses it and wins it straight back like Drew did or something like that, but either way, it's a problem.
Even if he was to lose it and win it straight back, when he loses it, I don't think they could do it in a one-on-one match. Maybe a multi-man match of some sort, but
similar to how we lost the US.
Yeah, and like you said, there's only two people he should really lose it to. Maybe Brock, maybe McIntyre.
Yeah, there's no one else, bro.
There's definitely nobody else. And yeah, furthermore, I don't think he should lose it. Full stop.
With that said, no loss for Lashley. But unfortunately, folks, you lose because we've got to go. Folks, this has been WrstlXtra. You are watching on the WrestleManiac UK YouTube channel. Follow Mex on WrestleManiac UK on Twitter and on Instagram. You are listening as well on AffinityExtra.com. Yep. So you can follow AffinityExtra.com as well on Instagram. And of course, check out the website, AffinityExtra.com. Also, follow me if you're not already. If you're not, actually, don't watch again. No, I'm joking. Follow me on Instagram, Black Wrestling Alliance, and Black Wrestling A on Twitter when I come out every now and again. Check Twitter on Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning, because if Scorpio Sky doesn't win, I'm going off.
Fire on the mountain.
I'm going off. That's what I'm saying. On that note, we've got to go off. So, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace out.
See you later, guys.